In this video, I'll be sharing with you a requested tutorial on how to cut this stylish keyhole neckline dress. This dress is from Stella Patrick Fashion. So to start, here is my pattern paper and we're going to go ahead to cut out the upper part of this dress first. Now, you're going to minus your half length from your full length, which is your shoulder to bust, under bust and waist. After marking that, you're going to place your ruler and you're going to mark your shoulder divided by 2. Come down by 1 inch here and you're going to mark your basic neckline. So for this neckline, I will not be using 2.3 inches directly. I'll be using at least 2.8 inches, and for the depth I'll be using 2.5 inches. This is so that my neckline does not slack, and I'll just go ahead to connect. Now if you feel this neckline is a bit too tight for you, you can go ahead and use 3 inches by 2.5. So I'm going to find my chest line, which is my bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. Now I have 7 inches. I'll rule a line there. Now I'm going to mark my shoulder divided by 2. After that, I'm going to place my ruler and I will connect. I'll go ahead and divide what I have here into 2 and mark. Come out by ½ inch at my armhole and I'll go down and mark my bust circumference divided by 4. From this point, I'll connect all the way to the midpoint of my armhole and I'll be extending this all the way to the upper part of my pattern. The next step I'm going to take is to go ahead to insert my measurement, because looking at this dress is as if it has no dart. So I'll go ahead to mark my bust circumference divided by 4 at the bust, then add your sewing allowance. You can use 1.5 to 2 inches, or you can just make it like an ready to wear dress where you don't have to use so much allowance. So I'm just going to go ahead to mark my waist circumference and my under bust circumference divided by 4 and also add my sewing allowance. Now my under bust and waist is the same, which is 28 inches divided by 4. I have 7. Now after I'm done connecting, I'll just go ahead to cut out my pattern. So if you notice my pattern is on fold, this is to also go ahead to explain the upper part of the neckline of this dress. So I'll just go ahead and open this pattern up, and this is what I have. Now you want to pay attention to the neckline of this dress. Please pardon me for the noise at the background of this video. Now from the center, you want to determine where you want the keyhole to stop. So I'm using about 5 inches. Go ahead to measure yours and I'll go in by 3 inches. Now I'm going to place my ruler and draw out. Then from here, I'll go down a bit by ½ inch or 0.7 and I'll reconnect. Now I'm just going to go ahead to cut this out and also cut the other side of my pattern out, and I'll open this up. You want to slash this because you'll be placing it back on the pattern to join it as one piece at the neckline to create that slanted look. So what you have to do is either cut out your collar piece and attach, or you can just add an extension to one side of this pattern and you now place it on your pattern to cut out. But when placing it on your pattern is a bit tricky. You will have to like shift out your pattern, like open out your pattern a bit, so that it will give room to that side you have an extension on. So one of the sides will be overlapping the other side, but when you're cutting it out, you have to like push open the neckline so that it will permit you to like cut that extra ½ inch or 1 inch or adding to the neckline of your dress. Now after cutting this, we'll move over to cutting out the back. So for the back pattern, you can go ahead to mark out your measurements. So I've gone ahead to mark mine just like we marked for the front, the chest line and the rest. Now I'm marking out my basic neckline of 2.8 by 1 inch. You can also use 3 inches for yours if you like. Now I'm going to mark my bust circumference divided by 4 and add my sewing allowance. Here I'll mark my waist circumference divided by 4 plus my sewing allowance together. Now place your ruler, connect this from the under bust all the way up. So after you're done marking this, you just want to go ahead to cut out your pattern. So after you're done cutting out your pattern, the next step you're going to take is to cut out the back the skirt pattern. You also need to take the measurement of your neckline because you'll be needing it to cut out the collar or the turtle neckline area of this dress. And you also need to measure that of the front. So this dress is a stretchy dress, so you need to use a stretchy fabric to do this. That means you might not be needing a zipper at the upper part of the dress, but if you want to add a zipper, you can go ahead to add it to the sides of the dress. This is the lower part of this dress, which is starting from your waist to the full length of the dress. Now, to get your hip point is 7 inches after your waistline. For a much taller person, go ahead to use 8 inches. Now go ahead to draw out a straight line at that point. That's on that skirt. So another thing you need to mark is if the skirt is after your knee point, you need to place your tape and mark your waist to knee point. So if this is my waist to knee point, I'm going to draw out a straight line. So from that my skirt to knee point, what I'll do is to come up by 2 inches and I'll mark. I'll draw out a straight line. So I'll be using this to serve as a guide when I'm marking out my skirt. This is the 2 inches, this is the knee point, this is the hip point, and here is the waistline. So on your waist, measure around your waistline and divide it by 4 and mark. Mine is 28 divided by 4, I have 7. Add your sewing allowance. Now on the hip, mark your hip circumference divided by 4, then add your sewing allowance to it. Now whatever you have here on your hip, you'll be minusing 1.5 inches from it if you want to have a fitted effect, like a well relaxed effect. But if you want it to be very fitted on your body, go ahead to use -2 inches. So my hip is 10 inches, that is 40 divided by 4, I have 10 inches. Taking out 2 inches will give me 8, then I'll add my sewing allowance back. So the measurement I have here is what I'll take all the way to the lower part of my skirt. So this is the need for this 2 inches. This is to give your skirt a well fitted effect towards this area, other than just to connect all the way down. So I'll just go ahead to connect and also connect here. So I'll just go ahead and cut this out. Now if you want to cut out the back pattern of this skirt, all you have to do is place this pattern and you're going to go ahead to place this pattern, add like a zipper in front.